Hi. Welcome back. Hello, Miss Annie Bear. Hi, Hypnicity. Yeah, yes. So just to give everybody a little bit behind the scenes, and that is not even all of it. January 10th, so that would have been Friday, January 10th, so 10 days ago, my Lemurian mentor uh, crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. And it was it's hard to say that it was unexpected simply because at the time he was in critical care in the ICU. It was unexpected simply because none of us really expected him. We expected him to be getting better. He had caught a virus in September and he was under treatment and he was supposedly getting better. We had observed him. Um, and he seemed to be improving, except for when I saw him in the month of Okapi, he had really gone backwards, and so I'm not sure if the treatment just was not treating him very well, or I know he was undergoing a purification at the time. And sometimes, whenever your body's already stressed out, it can just simply wear out. The other thing that happened behind the scenes, same week, would be yes, hypnicity, you're correct. That's just it. Because it speaks of him being recalled to the rainbow continuum. That is the council on the other side. And so when we speak to Lemuria, we will say, Wayu Watapu, and that means I remember you. And so we are constantly coming and going, constantly. And so it can also be with him, not just that he was needed on the other side, but that his energy will actually be more potent in supporting us through this time. Because the thumbnail that I picked this week was very specific. And it speaks to when I was first learning. It's now called the Dragon Masters, but it was Navigators of the First Light when I first joined the course after receiving my Huna seal. And so it speaks of learning to navigate the energies. And we are born at this time in a very turbulent energy time because we are saying goodbye to the old and hello to the new. And we do not know yet what the new looks like. But there are quite a few people, and their pact, I guess you could say, what they had decided on the other side was that they would be here for a certain amount of time. And then when the older energies faded away, they really weren't that keen on hanging out for the changes that are going to be happening. There's a lot of uncomfortableness as you step from one and go into the in between to the new. And so for some people, it's their takeoff point. They may decide that they want to hang around longer than they had initially wanted to do. And so you may see people rally and hang around a bit longer. I'll speak to this. There was a kitty cat that I worked on. Oh, golly. His name was Marmalade. And I think that was maybe Karen. If Karen Robinson's in the chat, she could probably help me with this. I think we were working first on him about 18 months ago, I want to say. And he had come down with a tumor on his face. And so I was working with Marmalade, the kitty cat. I had reached a point with Marmalade where it did feel like he was getting ready to go. But I've never had this before. He butt dialed me and FaceTimed me because his owner, whenever I hopped on, I'm like, oh, I see that you tried to FaceTime me last night, but I was already asleep. And she said, what? She was just as technologically challenged as I am. So she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, my phone shows that you called me. It wasn't her at all. It was Marmalade FaceTiming me. He wanted help. And so I started to put him in my circle every day. And so we started working together. And he was able to extend his lifespan quite a bit. And I think we got an extra, golly, I want to say a year with his family. Hello, Paul. I'll go ahead and say hi to everybody that's come in right quick. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Karen Doyle. Paul out there cruising around. I saw Lori Hunsinger come in. Scroll back up here. Annie Bear, ethnicity. It's quite a power card. So, Paul, for anybody that's not familiar, Paul is currently cruising. Was that a Christmas present, or it might have been a birthday present? I'm not sure which, but his family gifted him with being able to go on a cruise. So he's currently on a Disney cruise, I believe. So he says, we're sailing to the Bahamas, just saying hi. Oh, that's wonderful. He's on deck staring at it. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let me see. So we're just going to chitter chatter here. Any feelings on your Rosie? Well, Annie Bear, I did notice with her that she was absolutely loving it that you were working with her. I saw that on your community posting. And so keep that up. Both of you are gifting each other right now. She is helping, guiding you with your practicing with the healing, and that gives you the ability to play with that, and then that also is helping her feel better. You are sitting on the deck. Oh my goodness. Oh, now you're standing on the deck, huh? Headed to the centers there. How so cool. There's a lot of it's a big power center down there, the Bahamas. That's one of the bigger, I hesitate to say the word portal, because that's also the Bermuda Triangle. And so it is interesting. You may potentially see some of our Atlantean cousins and some of the UFO cousins as well down there. So be open to seeing lights, especially those that are under the sea, as they say. That the other upheaval that I had this week was my mama on Wednesday last week. She had actually gone to the doctor, and because she'd been having trouble with her heart and some of the symptoms for quite some time. And it was one of those things where it's like, okay, is it indigestion that we're talking about, or is it potentially the heart? We really can tell. And she had gone to the doctor. She had done the blood test that's supposed to tell you if there's a problem. And they'd also taken an EKG, and they sent her home because there was absolutely no indicators. So it was really scary. Whenever she lay down to go to sleep that night, it went straight into a heart attack mode. So they were very, they're rural, so it took some time for the EMTs to get there. She did undergo a stent procedure, and she seems to be stable. They put her back home, and so this week they've got a few more tests that they're going to be doing. So it's been a week, and so I cannot begin to tell you just how many transmutations I was doing this week, how much energy work I was doing this week. Oh, thank you, Paul. Thank you, standing in the light with Annie Bear. I am not super perky, but I'm in a better space than I was last week. Last week, of course, was quite a lot of turbulence. There is quite a bit of upheaval that's going on behind the scenes right now for me. And so I'm just simply walking through it. That's most of the reason in my little thumbnail, you'll see that kayak headed through the rapids. It's me navigating the turbulence. Let me see. Hypnicity. Can you see if Rascal has gone over the rainbow? Hypnicity, a lot of it depends on, sometimes they're going to hang around. They want to make sure that you feel okay with what happened. And what you can do, if you feel like her journey with you is complete, you can specifically ask her to go over into the light, or you can see her go back with wherever your other pets are. You can send her into the light. You can send her to the other side just by asking her to. Usually you'll be able to feel around But mostly they're going to hang around on this side. One, for curiosity's sake. My kitty cat actually stuck around for a while afterwards because there were things that he wasn't allowed to see. Where we live on the farm is right next to a highway, and we do have some really big predators here. So since he had originally been an inside-outside kitty, he wasn't able to go and see quite a lot of the farm. And so when he passed, he actually ran amok for about a week afterwards, basically snooping everywhere that he couldn't get to see whenever he was alive. And and then once his curiosity was done, then he bebopped to the other side. So, hello, Leah. Oh, thank you so much, Ethnicity. I don't actually need to. My main thing, Annie Bear, is I don't mind. I really don't. I'm here for you guys, and so that is not a problem. Me being here chatting with you does not change anything from what is going on currently. Ethnicity, I miss her dearly, but I want her to be free. Mm-hmm. You know, with Hypnicity, with Rascal, the important thing on that is I'm just trying to listen to her right quick. Yeah, she's saying that there isn't really anything for her to complete. She's just checking on you, just to make sure you are okay. And of course, you're going to miss her, obviously. And you know, that's the other thing too. Don't be surprised, even if you have requested for her to go to the other side completely. She may be dipping back in here just to check on you again. I have had former pets that have come back whenever I'm asleep. Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Let me see if I can. I don't normally, but let me see if I can dip into that for you. Yeah, that's a cute name. I like that. Let's see if I can get a hold. I'm not as good with this one as Rascal that I had worked on before she left. No, thank you, Rascal. I know you're all happy looking for a kitty. Sometimes kitties don't appreciate puppy energy. Lee, I'm sorry, I can't seem to get a hold of anything from him. So big hugs to you though. Let's see what we got. Aw, Leah, that's so sweet. Thank you. Sending you love and strength. Thank you. Well, you know, that's just it. Some of this stuff I did debate on sharing because I wasn't sure, but you know, this is life. There are comings and goings, and there are going to be a lot of goings this time, simply because it's a lot of transition time for a lot of people. For one thing, in the northern hemisphere, we are in our winter season, and so there are a lot of pets, there are a lot of ponies, there are a lot of people that will naturally use this as their jump off point. It's just winter is a natural cycle time for them to go to the other side. And so it's helpful for me to express what was going on behind the scenes, just so that you know, I'm not trying to flake out on my stuff. It's just like I said, there's a bit of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that I'm just not really privy to talk about right now. But in time, I will sure. Sure. Um, Ethnicity, she's saying with Rascal, I hope she will reincarnate someday. I think she is one of my past dogs. You know, I have seen this a lot with people. Like in the case of Marmalade, he'd been with that lady before and will come back, I'm sure. And it's not uncommon for people to have dogs and cats and even ponies come back over and over and over. I personally haven't had a reincarnation, but I know of other people, and that's just it. They're here helping to support you, and you can absolutely lean into this. Funny you should ask this, Annie Bear. What words do the whales want to share with us in the United States today? Okay, so today, and it has been for the entire month of January, is Kahu, and this is the stargate of the whale. So Kahu is the whale. It's a Sirius A, and so that's our stargate. And I have shared on my community post. There was it's not very long, but there is a video from 5 days ago of the Toho, which is the humpback whale specifically, celebrating in the ocean, yeah, just off Maui. And so it's very soothing for me to hear the ocean, but to see the whale breaching, that is why the Toho is chosen for Fridays, is because of the celebration that they have. And it's just the sheer launching themselves out, the energy that's coming through is extremely powerful. And I need to speak to what's going on in the United States. Again, I will say it, and I know it's a matter of just hearing it enough times. People are going to have to hear this one enough times in order to be able to know it as a true knowing in their being. But the politics game, the exact same thing has happened with, say, football or any of the sporting games, anything where you have teams where it is one side versus another, one ideology versus another. If there is fear, hate, division, that is a 2D entity creation. It's not real. It was created specifically to feed the 2D entities your energy. There were a few signs this week that specifically spoke to like your own. Balance your energies. You need to pull back your energy from that creation. If you have been leaning into my side won today, my side lost today, pull your energy back up and out of that system. Because believe it or not, it does not matter which side of that coin you are on. Your energy is being sucked off and used by the 2D creations. In fact, I haven't done the energy work yet today. So let me see what we got. Oh, this is cool. Getting to see a movie. That'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun. Great. Okay. Yeah, that's like this ethnicity thing. We've had several friends. That week, I know of 2 ponies that passed away, 1 dog, 2 cats. And then my mom just about decided to join my mentor on the other side. So it was a heck of a week. Yeah, like hypnicity's saying, I want everybody to do this. And the orcas are called maki. So this is beautiful. Yeah, she physically leaned on me a lot in the last few weeks. This is her puppy. Hello, Unica. Perfect. Because what I'm going to do, oh, that's gorgeous, Paul. Wonderful. Utica has just dipped in. Anybody that doesn't know yet, Utica is joining us from East India. So, yes, our attention is going to be priceless. So use discernment exactly. It's not just our attention. It's also the, like I said, it's your energy. So the important thing on it is going to be, am I in fear? Do I hate someone else? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Because as we step forward, this is all about freedom. And this is about learning to control our own emotions, because sometimes we get down into the fear and the grief. And so we need to learn, okay, it's okay to cry a wee bit, but if you're crying too much, if you are expressing, and you'll know this, I mean, sometimes, yes, it's normal to grieve something like the passing of a loved one. Family members passed over, puppies passed over. You're going to grieve that. That's completely different. If you're just sad because you're sad, there is a certain amount of crying, but at some point, the 2D entities, again, are going to be siphoning your energy. So it's going to be up to you to do what's called a pattern interrupt. And you need to realize, hey, this really isn't helping me. I'm just maintaining and giving out my energy to create this. And so that will help to collapse that. Now, last week, what I did, I had been urged by the dolphins to go ahead and share, because when I do the harmonization, there is words behind this. It's to get everybody on the same page, energetically speaking. Yeah, like Leah is saying, my grief has been over the top. Leah, what you'll need to do is pull back from that unless there is a reason for it. If you're expressing grief because like your kitty has passed over, if it's that kind of grief, then just cry. You just have to cry as much as you can. And I gotta say, I'm an ugly crier. When one of mine has passed over, I'm ridiculous with it. I really have to walk around with like a roll of toilet paper, and it's usually what'll happen is you'll go for about 2 weeks, you'll be fine. You'll cry, think you're over it, then it comes back. It'll get triggered again. That's just grief. And I would encourage you to allow that out as much as you possibly can. The difference is if my side won or lost with today, then what you need to do is pull your power back. Go hug a tree, hug your ponies, hug your kitties, go for a walk, play in the dirt, be in with nature. Because what's going to happen is you're Lemurian. If you're here, you're really a Lemurian. You're not, I'm going to hate saying these words, you're not a Republican, you're not a Democrat, you're not a conservative, you're not a liberal, you're not, those are ridiculous labels. You are a Lemurian. You are here to make real connections from your heart, from one Lemurian and one human to another human. Okay, I can feel this. That just connected a lot of people through several different of our chakras. Okay. Yeah, it's like Paul saying, I remember whenever my mom passed, all week long, just crying. Yeah, that's just it. And with that, you need to do exactly that, because that is true grief, and it needs to be out. It needs to be allowed. Because if you don't, what's going to happen energetically speaking is you will be shoving things into your body and into your aura, especially if you are an empathic person. So you really need to allow that out. And that's exactly it. We are on Lemuria. We are on Lemuria 5. This is called Planet Matea. My mom's stable for the moment, Utica. Thank you so much. She's currently at home. And so she's stable. She has a visit with the cardiologist later this week, and then they'll see if they need to do more procedures for her. But at the moment, she's been stabilized. So what I'm going to do right quick is I'm going to go ahead and do the login, and this is the harmonization. And so this is to get everybody on the same page, energetically speaking. And much like I did last week, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to talk to you about the words that are behind this, the meanings that are behind this. Okay? Grateful for the breath of life. From the void of the cradle of creation comes first light, ma, first breath, ha, first birth, ka, first love, wa, first stone, ta, first fire, hi, ma, ha, ka, wa, ta, hi. In the first dimension, it inga wa, in the name of tito iri, the vibration, the o, the frequency, the wana, the energy, wayuatapu, I remember. In the second dimension, it inga wa, in the name of Tafinui, the land, Drani, the sky, Tikatau, the water, Wayuatapu, I remember. Third dimension, that's a lot of energy coming in. Third dimension, it ingawa, in the name of Tefaya, the mother, the feminine energy, Tamatua, the father, the masculine energy, Tatama, the child, the high heart energy. Wayuatapu, I remember. Multidimensionality, Tihe, Pori, Ora, grateful for the breath of life. Ooh, that's a lot of energy. That actually made me a little dizzy. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Okay, gang. So you tell me, would you like to do the undoing next? A full body sweat. My guess is because you probably have been getting schnickerdoodled, and I'm hearing Annie Bear led around by the nose, whatever that means. And so the sweat is actually getting toxins out. So it's like Leah is saying, it's a release. That actually made me a little dizzy. So we're going to go ahead and continue with some more of the Lemurian cutting. I want to do an undoing right quick. And if you are up to it, I think what I would like to do for everybody so that you can come back to this will be to do an alchemy of the dimensions. Would you like to do that, to go up into the different dimensions? That would get Paul into alignment for our cosmic cousins. That would be fun. Paul, you're going to have to report if you get UFO visitations, or I should say USO, because there's a lot of, unidentified submerged objects. I think that's what that is. Wonderful. Okay, so let's do some undoing right quick. My iPad froze, Annie Bear. I heard led around by the nose. Yeah, that's what I heard. Led around by the nose. Don't ask me. I have no idea. But that's what they said. They said you were being led around by the nose. Wonderful. Let's do some Pleiadians. Beautiful. Okay, so we have different galactic beings that do come in. Obviously, Pleiadians are Matariki, which is what we observe whenever they rise over New Zealand. And so that is the beginning of the new year for the Lemurian calendar. So we have obviously the Pleiadians, but there are also the Andromedan influences and the Arcturians as well. So what we're going to do, this may make people a little bit dizzy, but what we're going to go ahead and do is some alchemy of the dimensions. And what will happen is, because some people have had some turmoil today, we're going to bring you up and out of where that turmoil was really jacked through the roof. These are 2D entities. I'll say it again for the people in the back that have not heard me. The politics game was created by 2D entities. It was created solely for the express purpose to divide people. And the reason why is because they want you turned against each other, because they feed only on the lower frequencies. So these are things like apathy, guilt, shame, fear, hatred, divisions. Okay. And so in order to escape or you can't fight one side or another. That's duality. And so what you do is you get up and out of it by going into the 5th dimension. And if we go up into the 8th dimension, which we're going to do, you'll have your choices. But what we're going to do with the 5th dimension is the high heart. It is the crystalline. We are moving up into the unification. It is the love. And that's just that these lower frequencies cannot feed off of love, joy, peace, bliss, exhilaration, any of those higher things. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have you just look up, like towards your third eye, and then gently close your eyes. Great. Take a nice, deep, gentle breath in. Hold. Let it out. I'm hearing the dolphins laughing in my ears. Okay, this will be fun. Great. Okay, so what you need to do now, forget about your eyes. Keep your eyes closed. Imagine yourself in Mother Earth, whatever your favorite version of being grounded and held by Mother Earth is. You can be sitting in a tree. You could be walking on a beach, up in an alpine meadow, sitting along a stream. Great. Now just let me get my energy set up right quick. And this will be an activation. It's called alchemy of the first through, I'm at least going to go up to the 10th dimension. We may go up a little bit higher, but what I need you to do, if you can do it, I need you to get into the 5th dimension with me. Okay, we're ready. Alchemy of the 1st dimension. Woo. Alchemy of the 2nd dimension. Alchemy of the 3rd dimension. Alchemy of the 4th dimension, which means we are now in 5th dimension. That's just brought you up and out of the polarity. So for anybody that just wants to hang out in the 5th dimension here, you can hang out. And the rest of us are going to go up a wee bit higher then. So if you'd like to go up higher, let's go alchemy of the 5th dimension. Alchemy of the 6th dimension. Alchemy of the 7th dimension. You may hear ringing in your ears or different sounds come through. Alchemy of the 7th, which brings us into the 8th dimension. In the 8th dimension, you may begin to see the Ascended Masters. So Kuan Yin, there's quite a few in here. Jesus, Sananda, you're going to have Dwa Kul, Mother Mary, Christ, Buddha. There are just a lot in this. So if you'd like to hang out, St. Germain's another that's here, yes. If you'd like to hang out here, you can hang out here. The rest of us are going to go a wee bit higher, but we're going to go alchemy of the 8th dimension. Alchemy of the 9th dimension. And that brings us into the 10th dimension. And this is where the interdimensional beings are. So you'll see things like color flashes, light flashes, orbs. Those are 10th dimensional beings. Okay, and I'm actually hearing to go ahead and stop here today. So what you need to do is come back into Mother Earth. She will hold you, ground you. Hug a rock if you feel like you're not getting the stabilization from holding a tree. Beautiful. And then you can come back in nice and gentle as you're ready. You can wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Take a nice breath in. And welcome back, everybody. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. The 8th was filled with happiness. So glad that we stopped here getting the body pressures. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, Paul. Now you're ready. You should be definitely ready. And that's wonderful too, because if you would like, you can go back and replay this at any point. I'm sure I'll be going through and doing timestamps for these. Oh, that's gorgeous, Utica. I like to imagine I'm in Mother Earth's womb. Beautiful. Love her, Annie Bear. Oh, okay. Annie Bear is saying, I am loving Jennifer Lisa Vest. She's an indigenous lady, a dreaming woman. Check her out. I did, and she's one I'll dip in and try it again, because whenever I tried to listen to her earlier, this is important for people to hear. If I don't resonate with somebody, that does not mean that it is not in resonance with you. Okay. And when I listened to her, I was not in resonance. So I had to back away after about 10 minutes, I think. And so I will be trying it again later to see if it's something that resonates with me. And if not, please feel free to continue to enjoy her messaging. Um, there are people that will resonate with you, and there are people that will not. And so sometimes it's a matter of maybe not in this moment, and then other times it's just simply they're not your. I'm hearing the. I'll just say it. They're not your mission on Earth at this time, is what I'm hearing. Whatever that means. I'm sure people will understand that. Okay, Paul, well, you enjoy your walkie-walkie. And that's just it, because it's like this with Annie Bear. Let me see. It's a weird message. I'm just going to say, Annie Bear, sometimes I love having you follow me. Um, and you're gathering the information from this. You're definitely hearing the resonance, but you are a powerhouse in your own right. So when you're listening to other people, make sure that you understand that you are a leader just as much as the other people. You're sharing information, and this is just it too, because what one person says is correct for them in that moment. It may resonate with you. Um, you need to, like hypnicity is saying, is follow your senses, and that's another thing too. It could be simply that you are being pulled back um, from what's going on. Internalize it, begin to feel it, because this is going to be our new way. It's very much like the dolphins. It was what I was trying to articulate previously with the Aquarian age. We will become more of an equal footing with each other because we will be standing in our own sovereignty. If you watch something like the geese that are flying or the dolphins that are going in the pods, they will have a leader that will go, the others will follow, and then they will switch. You will have another dolphin or another a goose that will take over that lead then. And so each of us, as we go forward, will begin to do this lead and follow dance. But you are the highest authority on you. Okay? Utica, let me speak to that, but I'm not going to put your question up onto the screen because there are enough people that are being triggered. When we speak of that color that you're talking of, there is a star, and it is the Stargate for the sign of the Wombat, which is Kopanui, and that is in June. And so that is speaking to awakening the masses. that is also speaking of the child gate, Tona, okay? And so, yes, discernment is needed. And so it's going to be observing things coming through the children. And so anything that is orange color, amber color, it will speak to the Southern Cross, Tona, which is the gate of the child. And the children, it's a half-half thing. It's important to understand and encourage the children because they are so close to source. They have just arrived here. They don't have the filtrations in place. And yet at the same time, you want to make sure that they do have the boundaries, the safety, the knowledge from the wisdom from the ancestors in order for them to feel safe as they navigate and learn to find their way in the world. Andy Bear, absolutely. With this one, you do, absolutely. You know, you're beginning to feel that. Forgive yourself. Anything that you're holding on to, again, I'm going to speak to that. We can accidentally hold things in our space and our place, and especially in our aura. And we're the ones that are constantly feeding the energy into that keeps it up there. It's kind of like the echo paradigm. The echo will fade away, but if you're standing there constantly yelling and feeding that echo, it will not fade because you're feeding the echo. And to some extent, it's the same thing with the 2D entities. You're feeding the 2D entities. So don't do that. And we don't do that by observing things like the whale video. I shared that in my community post just this morning. You can watch otters playing. You can take a walk in nature. You can create things. Oh, wonderful. Hello to Paul's sister. And Kelly just said, hello, keep me busy. It keeps you out of trouble, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like Lauren Hunsinger. She's saying, I like watching certain people from time to time. There are so many at the moment that have different degrees of information that are a part of my purpose. Exactly. And that's why I'm saying you can watch and observe these things and then see what's resonating in your frequency field. Some of it can be, I like what this person is saying because they're just simply echoing back what I think the world is like. And so it's good to hear what other people have to say. You don't have to agree with them, just to hear it. And sometimes you can get information from other. And again, as I said earlier, we are, if you've managed to find this here, you're a Lemurian. You know, you're resonating already on planet Matea. That is Lemuria 5, and that is the light that we're stepping into. And I'm saying stepping into because the earth itself has already undergone her shift. She is really doing great, actually. And so it's a matter of we're still partly carbon and we're going into the crystalline stuff. So we're just kind of, we're in that in-between phase right now. Yeah. Okay, so here's a question. Let me see. I stood within someone. Was that a remote view? Let me see. Once that same someone stood inside me. All white light. Sure. Annie Bear, when I'm doing things like I'm going in and 1111 on my end here, but when I'm doing like the energy healing and I'm dialing through people's meridians and I can feel the congestion on their different meridians and things, that's me going inside or feeling into their body. I don't normally do, you can do the thing where you're actually fully inside somebody's body and then you're kind of looking out through their eyes. That's pretty freaky feeling. You can do it. It's freaky to feel both as the person that's being entered and then the person that is doing the observing from the inside. I don't recommend it. For one thing, that's not really needed. There's not much of a reason to do that unless you were trying to seek knowledge. And there again, The only time that I tend to do it is if I'm dipping into somebody's field and I'm actively doing energy healing with it. Ooh. I would caution you against that. And the reason why is because there are, again, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. However, there are so much things are not what they. Let me just see if I can get a channel on this. Discernment, discernment, dear one. Things are not what they seem. Yeah, things are not what they seem. Some of the illusions that you are seeing are heavily layered and filtered holograms that have been generated, different images that have been generated. And so what you are seeing is the miasma, slow down a little here, the miasma from the 2D creations, the 2D entities, and even 1D entities. You need to learn to step up and out of the 3D constructs, away from the 2D constructs, even if they sound good. Always listen to your heart. Do they bring people together in unity? Are they promoting peace? I can't really follow that. It's something with, they're saying that what you're seeing doesn't go high enough. It's showing it's shattering when yeah, that's just it. Okay, it is an illusion. They're presenting, and this was why I also did some of the, today, whenever I boosted us up and through some of the higher dimensions, it's not just the parasitic nature of some of the lower entities. Some of the higher frequencies, dimensions, can also be parasitic in nature. And so sometimes they'll mask themselves. Sometimes I've had this before when I've done energy healing, and it'll sometimes happen in ghost situations, or if I've done energy healings for animals and I'm asleep, and they'll come in. A lot of times I'll have animals that'll come into my bed, especially if I'm working on them, and especially if they're sick. It's a lot like having a toddler crawl into your mommy's bed whenever they're sick. They need help. And then just depending on if it is the correct animal, then I'll go ahead and work with them. But I have had other entities sneak into my bed. They will present themselves as the energy of the animal first. I go, oh, no, 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 no. I just need some energy balancing. And then what will happen is I can feel into it. And then I know who that is. And what will happen is I will use my heart light to shoot them into the central sun. Any crystals to support discernment. Reach for any of your crystals that are speaking to you expressly. What I would do is I would look for a black obsidian or one of the black jades, one of the black stones. Tourmaline will work, but tourmaline's a little crumbly sometimes. But if you've got a good polished stone, it should. Onyx, black onyx. But these are all protection stones that you can use. You can also put that underneath your pillow. I carry, I shall show you mine. I carry my black onyx, no, black obsidian in my pocket here. So I always have this one in my hip pocket. Hello, tea garden chicken. But that's mine. And I always have it in my hip pocket because I want to be protected and guarded as I'm going through. Can I put my bubble up? Absolutely. Do I usually have my bubble up? Absolutely. But you know, a stabilizing crystal is always good to help. And it certainly helps. In fact, whenever I'll just tell that. That was a fun story. Right after I first got my obsidian, I tucked it into my pocket. And we had gone to the laundromat, and I had a fellow pull up in the truck alongside me, and he didn't look that nice of a fellow. Okay, bye, Paul. Go and enjoy. That's wonderful. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for coming in, too. Yeah, and as Utica's saying, shungite is really wonderful. It's a very high high energy. But as I was saying, this fellow, I fully expected him to hop out of the truck and go in. I think he was, needing to do laundry or something. He looked at my truck door, which basically was in a straight line to my hip pocket where the stone was. And I'm thinking, well, I guess you really weren't on the right dimensional path that you needed to be. Perhaps your thoughts were not pure. But he didn't, he never got out. It was interesting. The stone actually kept him from getting out of the truck until we left. It was a fascinating reaction. So yes, having the proper stones around you can absolutely help as we go forward through this. And I'm going to say it. Hi, Frankie Bird. You're so loved. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. It's always great to have you in the audience, Paul. You really are. You're a lot of fun. And I hope you have a great cruise. You're going to have to come back in and share with us everything that you're seeing. Yeah. Annie Bear is sharing that, yes, I do now have shop sessions now one-on-one. Oh, Frankie Bird loves you. Frankie Bird's such a sweetheart. Whew. Okie dokie, gang. I have a treat. Let's see if I can get this up. I'm going to share some photo images. So what you're seeing on screen is me taking a photo of an aurora that happened last week. It is extremely blurry, despite the fact that I was taking this at night with my iPhone, and I was actually braced. Obviously, with the night exposures, it does take some time for this to happen. What I was seeing to the naked eye was a reddish purple color, and this is towards the Pacific Ocean. This is pointed towards the south side of Seaside. So what you're seeing in the distance there, I was seeing as a reddish purplish color sky for the aurora. And on the phone, it was coming back through as purple. Was not there. We ended up with peach. And where it's the brightest that you can see, that's actually over the Pacific Ocean. So it's a little different. And the oddity that we have, almost mid-screen, just underneath that peach flare, you're going to see this strange orb shape. There's two dots, basically. I've had this happen a couple of times now. And so I'm going to scroll over. I've got 2 or 3 of these that are pretty much the same images. This was my phone. So it's a vertical phone. And you can still see that bright white dot. If it's enlarged, it's actually 2 bright white dots. It's another image taken, and these are all in sequence. And this strange greenish color that's over to the side is one of my field shelters, one of my barns. It's a window in an upper field shelter is what that is. But the rest of that, it's an empty field. Where I'm pointed at towards town, where that peach glow is that's up in the sky, that's conservancy land. That's called Tillamook Head. There are no lights that direction. There are no roads that direction. And in fact, whenever I was taking these images, there were no cars going by on the road outside. I could not figure out where these lights were coming from, because they're very much like what I see in my room at night. They're 10th dimensional beings. But get this. Let's see if I can go to the next one. Yeah. This was taken right after, and it's disappeared. That light is not there in that image. Now, mostly I was going for the aurora. I was fascinated with the aurora. But you can see light, no light. And to the naked eye, I couldn't see those. I could not see those. And yet, whenever I normally see my 10D entities, I see them all the time to the naked eye. Not a problem. Yeah, that Sally was the first one that I thought of too. Because I was like, whoa, check this out. I actually got a picture of it. I couldn't believe it. But I found it very unusual. There are a couple of things that it could be. even though there's no neighbor in that direction, it's it's remotely possible that there is some version of a light reflection happening from the window that's in my upper portion of my field shelter. And yet at the same time, why was I catching the image there and not here? And in fact, this image shows without that light being there, that's what it looked like to me, to the naked eye, as I was taking all of these photos of the aurora. Because keep in mind, again, I was focused on the aurora. And what I was seeing was not that color that's being displayed. It's conceivable. I have better imagery of my friends, my UFOs, that I have. I have 3 UFO friends that have always been here. They look like rainbow shiny lights up in the sky. They're always in the same place. If I wave to them, they'll bob up and down and all over the place to indicate that they've, that we're interacting. Yeah, and Hidden Flash is always here. He's in the field, absolutely. That's funny because I was going to share my UFOs. I mean, I have some videos and stuff of it, and I was going to share it. And at the same time, those stupid drones came out, and I have to say, I really got infuriated. I had a lot of anger come up, and I didn't have anything connected to that. And so the only thing I could think was that my friends, my little UFO friends, were probably expressing their just sheer indignation of how very dare you confuse us with those drone things that were happening in New Jersey. They were pretty angry, and so I was very short tempered simply because I was channeling my friends, and I haven't had the impulse, I guess, to share that. Oh, well, that's sweet, Annie Bear. Well, thank you. They're really lousy photos, I have to say, because even though I was braced, that didn't work so good. This was my last slide that I wanted to share with everybody, though. This photo came out beautifully. This photo is simply the moon. And to the one side, I believe it's going to be to the right-hand side if you blow it up bigger. This is the moon over Cannon Beach. And that was taken a few days ago. The moon and Mars over the ocean. This is the Pacific Ocean. So for my fellow Lemurians, this is Mu. This is a part of Mu. This is why I love being in the Pacific Northwest. Because even though some of the other places like Hawaii, they have more of a magnetic pull, I guess you could say. But this still is very much Lemuria. The energy that comes from that, absolutely Lemurian. In fact, when I took this photo, I was busy getting activations, complete all through my aura and everything. Just one big rolling activation from this. So I really wanted to share this one with everybody in case, sometimes that's just it. Sometimes we can get activations just from seeing videos. We can see photos of different things, and it will trigger. And that was most of why I wanted to share that with the orb in the and the aurora, the different colored aurora, because sometimes just seeing these things, it will trigger a memory, or it will open. It will give you an opening. It will give you an upgrade to begin opening and have, so that you can have your own experiences one-on-one with these beings as they come in. No, I just call them our cosmic cousins. I know that they're a 10th dimensional being. They're a higher being, that's for sure. But these are the ones that have been working on my energy field for 3.5 years now. Yay. Okay, let me see if I can get back to. Yay. Okay, cool. Yay. So that was mostly everything that I wanted to share this week. And yes, there's been turbulence, and yes, there's going to be turbulence. But everybody needs to remember, like I said, you are the highest authority on you. I'm very happy that you all came along with me for the alchemies, because it's important for us to get especially up and out of the 4D, which is the fourth dimension, because that's where the polarity is. That's where some of the trickiness is from the lower realms, the lower dimensions. They're very parasitic in nature. And so we get out of that distress by coming up and into the fifth. Yay. Yay. That's wonderful. Yeah, some places you just really resonate with. Yeah, for me, this is home. I know a lot of people have mentioned about Hawaii, and there are important parts in Hawaii, but there are various points also that is across the United States. From the Isthmus of Panama all through North America, so all of the Central America, all of Mexico, all of the US, all of Canada, Iceland, Greenland, or not Iceland, sorry, excuse me. Iceland is a different motif. But it will be Greenland, Canada, Alaska, America. Did I say Canada? Mexico, and then the Central American, all the way down to the Isthmus of Panama. That is what's called Honu Motu, and that is Turtle Island. So we were birthed on Turtle Island. Oh, you are so welcome, Lisa. We'll figure it out. Walking on now. Yeah, absolutely. That's beautiful. Walking's a great thing to do too, because it helps to keep you connected to Mother Earth, and it allows your body to work out any negative energies that may be stored within it. So it helps to give you psychosomatic release or somatic releases from the body itself. Allows you to feel a lot more calmer. Because beautiful souls, each one of us, as we're going forward, we're just lighting up all around the planet. It's going to be important that you stay true to you. Try to remember with Lemuria, we are heart-based. There aren't cases of hatred or division. This isn't really us. We are very heart-to-heart people. Now, that's not to say that you allow domestic violence or something along those lines. No, absolutely not. Somebody's coming and beating on you, well, whack them one back if they started it. But the important thing is, like I said, most of the division that you will see in the world is created by a 2D entity creation, because they have to do that in order for them to feed off of your energy. You'll find that if you're in certain situations, even though it may be fun in the moment, if you walk away from it and you're feeling drained, someone or something was draining your energy. And then if you come out of other situations and you're feeling very light and energized, happy, a lot of times that'll be from playing with your pets or just enjoying a beauty, like a beauty moment, like the ocean or the aurora photos. It'll feel uplifting. Those are the moments that you hang on to. That's what you're focusing on. And it's important that you only turn your face towards the light. We're going to become a little bit like Bucephalus, which was Alexander the Great's horse. When Alexander the Great first was experiencing his stallion that would become important to his life, it belonged to his father, and nobody could ride the stallion. But the boy, because Alexander was only 13 at the time, noticed with the stallion that he was terrified, and horses will do this. They'll be terrified of shadows on the ground. And that was just it. He noticed that there were shadows that were really terrifying the horse. And so he mentioned to his father that he could ride him. And his dad was basically like, well, if you think you can, the horse is yours. And so what he did was he snatched the horse's bridle, turned the horse's face to the sun. And when he did that, of course, the shadows completely fell away. Alexander the Great was able to ride Bucephalus. And those two, the stories for those two just took off, legendary. And so what we need to do is keep our face to the sun. The shadows are not real. You don't have to be afraid. And we need to stay heart-based, like little Care Bears. Yay. Okay, everybody. I thank you so much for being here with me today. And I hope you enjoy this. I hope you really enjoy the replay. As Annie Bear was mentioning earlier, I do have a link to my shop. I have it posted in the description below. I'll be trying to come back in here and doing timestamps for us. I do offer one-on-ones. I am offering one-on-one for if you would like more information on Lemuria, and specifically your birth signs, your birth information, and more birth chart information. Then I have that in the shop. And I also have one-on-ones that I do where it is more focused for the energy-based healing that I do, which is meridian-based. And what I'll do is a deep dive on you or one of your pets or ponies. And then we go, I'll be going over all of the meridians of whoever's needed for that. And we will clean and clear the whole thing, get all the energy balanced on those, and keep you good and grounded and everything good and clean and clear. And then the last one that I have available is I also do sacred activations that were offered from Tamara Oviatt. And so we will pick out 3 different sacred activations for you. It's going to be for a half an hour. And those are different activations. Those are more connected to like theta programming. They were delivered to Tamara, and I received them as golden seals from Lord Metatron. And so it's quite an experience. A few of these, if you get them, actually for any of them that I would recommend going ahead and scheduling them at a time. And I don't have my calendar yet hooked up to it. Naughty me. Things have been unfaithful. But what'll happen is once you've ordered that, make sure that your email is correct, and then I will be in touch with you, and we will be doing a video, unless you want to do just via phone or something. And I have done them in the past just via email if you would like. But what we'll do is we'll get together for a time. Make sure that you schedule it so that if you need a nap afterwards, that you can go ahead and conk out, because what will happen is sometimes our conscious minds need to be out of the way so that we can integrate what's happened then. So you might need a nap afterward. Yes, anybody in the way of that Arctic blast, absolutely stay warm and safe. Those in the way of fires, I am so sorry that happened to you. We had the same experience happen to us in Oregon in 2020, and it was beyond horrific. So for those people, I am so sorry that that happened to you. And for anybody that is undergoing medical procedures, or Utica, I know your dad hopefully is at home now and doing much better. Karen's mom, I know, is struggling a bit. Oh, that reminds me. And if anybody would please, you know what, rather than calling out the Mouseketeer Club, because that's the other thing. I was supposed to be on this week with Valerie Bradshaw. And so, yeah, she's saying one way is to paint or involve yourself with the colors. Absolutely. Wonderful, wonderful. Great to hear, Utica. I'm supposed to be on with Valerie Bradshaw, but at the same time, my mom was going into the hospital for a heart problem. Her mom was going into the hospital for a stroke. So this has been one heck of a week. So basically, I'm supposed to be on with Valerie this week at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Wednesday the 22nd. It is conceivable that it may not happen this week. Okay, so Valerie's mom is stabilized apparently. So we might be able to do that. So I'm trying to say that it may be flexible. I may or may not be capable of doing that with Valerie this week, but we are on the books right now, supposedly for 10 a.m. on the 22nd, and that one's going to be more meridian based. I'm going to be doing some more energy focus for that one, so you'll get to experience some of the energy cleaning and clearing on that one. Yay. I think I put everybody to sleep. I tend to do that a lot. Other than that, then I will be hopefully back next week on Tuesdays again, if everything behaves itself behind the scenes. But I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed my little pictures that I shared, and thank you so much for being here today. And I'm so glad that that everybody was able to come in, and what a ride. But we're navigating our canoes. We're learning how to do our thing, and we're on a 111. So I'm going to hop out of here. Let's do the bunny bounce out. This is the last week of Hia, a little bit of endurance before we go over into what will be Kirani. Okay, gang. Well, I shall see you later. Bye. Have a great day. Love you all. Bye.